Hello everybody. I want to talk about the two types of change that we see in our world. They can generally be categorized into incremental or evolutionary and then revolutionary. So let's talk first about incremental or evolutionary. This is a change that we often don't see. This is because change is at a very subtle, slow pace. Some say that's the best type of change, mainly because people don't realize the change that's occurring. And so there's a number of good examples that we can give about evolutionary change. One is, I remember years ago, there were some issues in Great Britain with unions, and unions went on strike quite a bit. So rather than the government of the day, which was Margaret Thatcher, taking on the unions and outlawing so much of what they were doing, she made subtle changes in the law that made it even more difficult as the years went on. It took almost 4 years for them to make a strike that would have catastrophic repercussions on the country. They did subtle changes, like there had to be certain votes before something could occur, that there would be no tandem strikes, which means if one group strike, for instance, the electrical union, another group, say the dock workers, couldn't strike. So there was these incremental changes along the line, and 3 and 4 years later, when they wanted to have a strike, they found that much of the power of unions had eroded since these subtle changes occurred in the law. So evolutionary change, incremental change, is highly positive, because if you want to be a person that promotes change and you have the time and patience that it takes to enact change, then evolutionary incremental really is the way to go. However, the change that is the most profound, the change that will make the greatest difference, especially in the shortest period of time, is what we call revolutionary. Unfortunately, every 4 years when we go for an election for President of the United States, we see that it's a revolutionary time in our era, that this is the most consequential election in our history. We know that that's not true. There's periods where there's been elections for a president, and it hasn't had a consequential revolutionary impact on society. Often you don't know until the event occurs. But a revolutionary change is one that is often not thought of in advance, at least according to employees and at least according to the country. A good example within an organization, if there's a merger or acquisition, especially a merger or a sale, employees may be caught off guard, and their first thought, of course, is not whether it's to benefit the organization, but the thought is what is going to happen to their job and their future. But that definitely is a revolutionary change. It's something that is coming at the last minute, and some people may feel it's the last minute. And it's unexpected is the key. There are some circumstances, of course, where revolutionary is absolutely applicable. When there's a change in the economy, or there's a world event of such magnitude that it really devastates the economy. 9/11 would come to mind, where the airlines were decimated through 9/11 through no fault of their own in many ways, but they were decimated and needed bailouts and assurances from the government in order to stay afloat. Those are things that is a revolutionary change to the economy, but certainly to the industry as well. That being said, so many of the revolutionary changes that occur can often be predicted. The unpredictable is often actually very predictable. And if there's things that could have been that could have occurred in the airline industry prior to that, it may have helped address those issues. Also, this is where contingency plans can really be important. For employees, I would say, in their organization, never be caught off guard. Make sure that you're fully aware of not just your organization, but your industry as well. And if you spend the time to research where your industry is going, you may find out that you're much more prepared for the eventuality of something to occur. Everybody enjoy the day, and hopefully this helps explain these two very different aspects of change.